Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you once again for tuning in for another insightful week. I hope you're all keeping well and you're looking after yourself, keeping your vibrations high and doing the things that you love in life. So today you're in for a very interesting show indeed, because today's subject matter, we're talking about when it's meant to be. So in a nutshell, we're talking about destiny. So we'll be diving deep in a moment. Also in the show, we have the weekly channeling, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring forward their wisdom through in the form of channeling there. And then later on in the show, we have your weekly energy forecast reading for this week to help you navigate your way through the week ahead of this week. Okay then, so let's have a look into today's subject matter. So as I say, we're talking about when it's meant to be. So we're talking about destiny today. And what I want you to consider is that first of all, we need to start by taking away our anxiety in connection with our purpose, with our life, with our pathway. Because there's a lot of us, myself included at times, where we do feel that anxiety because we would like things to happen in the now moment straight away. We don't have that level of patience, and sometimes our level of faith is tested from time to time, as I'm sure you'll all agree. And so with this being the case, what I want to suggest to you is start to look at this in a different way. And the way I would like to suggest is that everything that you are meant to do in your life is already pre-planned prior to you living the life that you're living. So taking away that anxious feeling, well, actually, it's almost as if you're symbolically taking away the brakes so that you can flow more easily with life. You can take those wasted moments, wasted thoughts, worrying about how things are going to work out, and is that person going to come in my life, or is that person going to go out of my life? So when you start and do that, it's easier said than done, and it takes practice and discipline. But I would certainly suggest that you would consider this way of approaching your life, as you'll find that life will flow a lot more easier for you. Now, in order for you to do this, you've got to have trust, you've got to have faith. And you've got to know who you are as a person. Now, when I say this, I'm referring to what you like, what you don't like, you know, the contrast there. And that will also help you to feel with your heart. Now, when I say feel with your heart, I'm referring to your intuition. I'm referring to that connection to your higher self. And that connection is paramount when we're removing those anxious thoughts out of our mind. It's helping us to connect strongly, like I say, with our higher self. And it's going to also amplify that level of trust within our heart and within our life. And that will definitely give us the faith and understanding that we are on the right path within our life and everything is happening just as it was planned, as it should. Now, there will be times in your life where you do think, well, why has that happened? You know, I don't deserve that. Well, I'd like to give you the suggestion, well, maybe consider it that had to happen to bring in contrast into your life so that you could then arrive at the next destination on your timeline within your life because of that contrast. If you see where I'm coming from, because you need to shift your frequency in order to get into that next avenue within your life. So see the lessons and the blessings in every situation. We often don't recognize them when they're there, when we're living that experience, because we're too close to it. It's only when we take that back step, maybe the fullness of time, where we can look back with fondness and respect for those things that we've gone through within our lives. But enjoy each moment within your life. What I'm talking about here is simply observe, look at the feelings, have that joy, and really bathe in that energy rather than, whilst you're going through those experiences, in your mind thinking about maybe situations that you'd like to improve in your life or situations that you wish that you haven't done. Rather than giving your time, giving your energy, giving that mind space to those things, I would certainly recommend that you're more present. Take things as they are, and really bathe in that energy, because that is a beautiful thing, being present in your life, and you get to see lots of different energies. When I'm talking about energies, I'm sure you've all been through this, where you have been present in your life and you can see that sparkle in other people's eyes. You can see that joy. You can pick up on their energies. You can pick up on the beautiful experience within that moment. Whereas, like I say, when we're in our mind, we're elsewhere. We're not there. When we're there in body, but we're not there in spirit, so to speak. So being in the present moment and celebrating it will certainly free up those anxious thoughts that you've been holding on to. Now, another thing, obviously, don't wish your life away. What I mean by this is, we all do it, myself included. At some point in my life, I've done this, where we say we can't wait till we go to this concert, or we can't wait till we go on holiday, and we're always like forcing time before time unfolds, if you know what I mean. Because it's something to look forward to, isn't it? It's something to anchor on and work towards. Well, again, this goes in line with what I was saying. It's not allowing us to be present. It's not allowing us to see the lessons in the situation that we're living. It's not allowing us to see that beautiful energy and that beautiful experience in each and every moment of our lives, because it is a blessing. And if only we were to just stay focused and be present, we would recognize that for ourselves. Now, you need to also move out of your own way with this as well. Now, with this being the case, I'm referring to many of us have put stumbling blocks in front of our goals, in front of our life purpose, because there's that element of fear of, well, what if scenario? What if that doesn't work out? What if this is wrong? What if that is wrong? What if I don't have the money? All of those what ifs are roadblocks that are stopping us, or at least slowing us down on our pathway within our life. And so, again, that would tie in with being anxious about your life. Removing those roadblocks, simply to move out your own way, is to focus your intentions from your heart space, what feels right to you, not what logically seems right to you in your mind, what feels right. And you know when something feels right because you feel light in your physical body, you feel that joy in your heart, you feel that level of excitement when something feels right, don't you? Everything connects, everything aligns, and things move a lot more smoothly. So moving out your own way will allow you to connect with this vibration, with this energy, and it will help you move through your life path a lot more smoothly without these roadblocks being in the way. Now, by listening to your heart, obviously this is going to help things run a lot smoothly and a lot quicker for you. But also, and you've probably heard me say this quite a lot on this show, on various episodes, but it's very, very, very on point, and it makes a lot of sense. And this is notice the signs that are coming in from the universe. Now, a lot of people might think that's a little bit hippie of you. That's very cuckoo. But in actual fact, if you're more present within your life, appreciating the moment, you'll see the energy in the moment, and you will see the signs coming in from the universe. I'm talking about little indications to let you know that you're on purpose, you're doing a great job, and keep on going. Now these signs can come in various forms. You've heard me say this before. It could be an animal totem. So if you see an animal that day, then remember what animal you saw and go and research it online, the animal totem meaning for whatever animal you saw. And there will be a message in that, and that message will give you hope and it will give you clarity within your timeline of your life. There's also angel numbers that work on a similar vibration. If you see a number, don't just, say, oh yeah, there's 24 on that house door. Why have I seen that? Well, actually research it as an angel number meaning, and there'll be a message in that. And you can do this by going online. And that message again in that will help you on your pathway, give you that encouragement, and maybe give you that nudge that you need in order to keep on keeping on. So also music plays a great part as well with signs, because obviously music has vibration, it has frequency. There's also messages within the lyrics of music. So it works on many levels, music. It may be giving you, when you hear a piece of music, the healing that you need frequency-wise in that moment in time in order to shift you into a new frequency that connects you to the easiest route on your timeline within your lifetime, if that makes sense. Also, the lyrics within the song will offer you some, like a small reading, a little bit of a nudge in the right direction, a message for you. So pay attention when you do hear songs out of the blue, or most commonly, a lot of people get this, where they have a song in their head. How many times have you heard somebody say that? I've had this song in my head all day and I can't get rid of it. Well, the fact that you've had it there in your head all day is simply that is a message from the universe. And it's been in your head all day because you haven't done the research. You haven't understood why you're getting that. And I assure you that once you recognize that it is a message, you either listen to the song, or do both. Listen to the song, look at the lyrics, do the research there. And once you've aligned with that, then that song will leave your mind because that message has served its purpose. It has been delivered to you. So consider that the next time you have a song playing on loop in your head. That will be a message, a sign coming in from the universe to help you stay connected to your life path. But I want to say that all roads, all these destinies, all these little pathways, these twists and turns that we all take in our life are based around the choices that we're feeling in that moment. But I want to say that all these choices, all these roads lead to your destiny. So don't think that because you made a certain choice and it's took you away from one opportunity, that you're not going to connect with your destiny, because you were making that choice for a reason. Maybe in your life you had to go the scenic route to your destiny. So what am I saying when I say that? I'm referring to where there's probably more roadblocks in the way, where there's more lessons for you to learn. And so going down the scenic route will actually empower you. You'll still arrive at the same destiny, but your soul will have expanded on a greater level, and you would have maybe been more empowered as a result of going through those things. Whereas some people, they just seem to connect with their destiny straight away, very quickly, very fast. And maybe their soul is more evolved than yours. You know, maybe they're an old soul, maybe they've gone through a lot in their previous incarnations, and what they needed to learn on their soul's journey, on the path of their destiny within their life, is simply straight to the point there. So, don't judge anybody at all, because we've all got various lessons to learn on our pathway within our life. But they all lead to the destiny that we've all agreed to fulfilling before we've even arrived here on planet Earth in this dimension. So it's going back to that word anxiety. So take that level of anxiety out of the situation. Now, this can be associated with any aspect of your life, such as your work, your career, your family, your love and romantic life. We all have those anxious thoughts there, wondering what's going to happen. How's this going to work out? Am I still going to be with that person? Am I going to get that pay rise? Where am I going to live? We all have those thoughts. And part of that reason, I believe, is simply down to conditioning in our societies, the way that we've sort of been managed, if you like, by society, and we have these ideals, these expectations of what we need to tick off on our box within our life. And maybe when we connect with our heart and our soul on a deeper level, that we don't necessarily have to fulfill a lot of these preconceived expectations that society is kind of pushing on us. Maybe our life is a more simpler one than what we give it credit for. Now, there's nothing wrong with a simpler life, an easy flowing life, because obviously you'll be more in alignment. You will also see the benefit of every moment, every present moment, and you'll bask in that energy. So there's nothing wrong with keeping things nice and simple, nice and easy. Why complicate things when you don't need to, when your soul is telling you that you don't need to? So a lesson in this is really connecting within, really connecting with our heart, connecting with our higher self, and trusting that wisdom that is coming in from the universe, as it has our best interests at heart. And this is why we all have spirit guides, by the way, to help us stay connected to our timeline on our life path. And they will help us, again, connect with that emotional feeling of the heart to kind of steer us in the right direction within our life. So have that faith and have that patience. Everything's working out beautifully for you, even if you can't see it. You should be able to feel it in your heart, in your instincts. And you get that feeling when you meet someone, for example, and you have a feeling about that person, you feel a connection there. Well, usually when that is, it's not necessarily always a romantic connection, but that person will play some sort of role within your destiny on your timeline. So the next time that you do feel that, don't instantly assume that this person is because it's a romantic connection. Not at all. No, it could be that, like I say, this person is there for a reason, for you to learn them a lesson and for you to learn a lesson from them. And then together you will ascend on your timelines. So quite a deep conversation today. But also some of the choices don't, like I say, necessarily take us down the direct route. The scenic routes are usually routes where we learn, where we expand, where we grow, and it makes us more, shall I say, more knowledgeable, more stronger as an individual, and more appreciative when we reach certain markers within our life, certain targets, certain points within our life. It makes us more grateful because of all of the roadblocks that we've had to endure and the lessons that we've had to learn. And so gratitude is a marvelous energy that not only feeds our soul, but also feeds the collective, the universal collective, with that energy. But as ever, I'd like to give you a few examples of where I've witnessed this in my own life. And one of these things, upon looking back, and this was a recent observation that I had, was, like I say, going back to today's subject title, when it's meant to be. Okay, so destiny. Well, when I was younger, I would say when I was around 7 or 8, probably a little bit younger than that, me and my sister, we had a cassette recorder and we had a microphone. And what we used to do, we used to really enjoy pretending that we had our own radio show. And we used to do some... we used to talk, we used to have interviews, and then I would do silly voices and impressions and things. And then my sister would dance or sing. Well, obviously not dancing on the radio, but she would sing and maybe play a recorder. And then we'd probably put a record on in the background and introduce the record. So we was doing that at a very young age. Little did I know at that moment in time that I would be recording radio shows of my own, like this very one that you're listening to today. So what I'm suggesting, on some level, my soul would have known that. And part of that, me doing that as a young child, although, yes, we was playing, was entertaining ourselves, I was actually preparing myself for the future version of myself, if that makes sense. So I was almost paying it forward without actually realizing or even considering it. Just being in that moment, having that playful, that curiosity there, it allowed me to at least get a taster of what was required in order to be a presenter. I know I was only young, but that energy was there right from the start. And that just came to me the other day, actually. I'd forgotten all about it, but upon looking back, it does certainly make sense. Another thing as well, where obviously from, as you know, from being young, I'm a musician, and I've played in various bands, but it all stemmed back from when I was a youngster. I grew up in a musical family that were connected to brass bands, and they played instruments such as the trombone, the cornet, and so anyway, I was encouraged to play the cornet, and it didn't feel right for me. And so I tried various instruments within the band. My favorite one there was the trombone. So I learned to play the trombone. And again, I enjoyed it, but there was a level that I didn't like about it. And that was the music, the brass band music. And I think that was simply because I grew up in that environment, and I had it on when my parents used to listen to it when I was at home. It was playing when I used to go to band rehearsals with them. So it was a continuous cycle of brass band music. And I think on some level I'd had enough of that. So I went my own way, and I learned to play the drums. And that led me in the direction of being in many different bands, and predominantly rock bands or blues rock or indie, that sort of vibration there. But why I'm saying this is being in all of those bands, it led up until a point with one band where I just got, I felt as if I was cracking the whip all the time, organizing things and booking gigs and setting this up, setting that up, and without being disrespectful to the other members of the band, because they were great musicians, and I want to say great teachers within my life. They didn't have that same level of passion and enthusiasm as I did on this level. They enjoyed it, yes, definitely. But for me, I was always pushing ahead, and it reached a point within one of the bands where it became obvious that I was burning myself out, and that energy that I was giving wasn't matched by the other members within the band. And so I came to the conclusion, do you know what? I think I can do this myself. And without going through that situation with the band, I would have never arrived at that decision. And so what that decision led to was me learning computers, because at the time I was petrified of them. So I went to night school, I learned computers, and then I self-taught, did a lot of reading, and I learned music production. Obviously, with being in the bands, I spent a lot of time in recording studios, rehearsal rooms, and so I was always watching, always observing the engineers, the producers there, how they put their pieces together, how they produced a record. I was always asking questions and maybe making suggestions in terms of levels and things like that within the productions. And so anyway, I learned how to do that myself, and started off using a computer and a combination of analog equipment and also digital equipment. Well, once I got my head around how some of the basics work, such as equalization, compression, limiting, reverb, delay, phasing, flanger, I could go on, but I would probably lose half my audience talking tech talk. But anyway, so I learned this, and anyway, I decided to compose some music. I was approached by a dear friend of mine he just finished, it was film school, and he was just putting together a production company, and they were writing and starting to produce some independent films. And so I was approached by him with a brief. Would you be able to put a theme song for this piece, and obviously the end credits song as well? And he gave me the brief, what sort of vibe he was after. And this is the first one I ever did. And so along with that, I listened to music in those genres that he was sort of hinting towards. And I tried to emulate what I felt would fit that brief and that project there. And so what I did, looking back to it, if I was to listen to that piece of music now today, I would cringe because I was in my infancy in terms of production, but you could tell that it had something there. Anyway, I was grateful of this opportunity, which led to it the actual films being shown at various film festivals around the world, which is the quite predominant ones as well, which I was quite surprised. But it led me down this path of music production. And why I'm saying this, like I say, all roads lead to your destiny. And so this links in with me producing the radio show and recording the radio show. So both of those elements within my life, again, growing up, doing the radio show on a tape recorder with my sister, learning all the musical instruments, which led to music production, which led to doing this and recording this very show. Another facet that I'd like to share with you is also the spiritual side of myself. Going back to being a youngster, I've always been very, very different, very independent, an observer in life, if you know what I mean. A little bit shy growing up, wouldn't always get involved, but I would watch, I would observe, and I would just feel a little bit like an outsider. And obviously this led to me growing up being more sensitive, being more observant with energy as well, the feelings that I'm picking up on, the situations in my life that I was picking up on. And all this led to me uncovering that I had spiritual abilities and gifts there, which later developed within the Spiritualist National Union, and got to the level throughout the years, doing platform work, independent work, to the level that I'm at now, where I'm a professional medium. And so again, going back to that word destiny, so you can see how all these elements of my life are entwining, weaving together. And again, the content that which happens to be in this radio show is very spiritual, very self-help orientated, and also obviously with the skill sets that I learnt growing up, they were all meant for a purpose. Even though at that time, I remember being in the bands thinking, yeah, we're going to be on Top of the Pops, which is a popular, or used to be a popular TV show, a chart-based music TV show every week. I had visions of that. And when that didn't happen, I was very sort of, deflated, if you like. Little did I know that behind the scenes, all of these facets of my life were entwining together so that we could produce such as content like you're listening to today to help lots of people, maybe consider a new approach in life, maybe consider celebrating their successes, celebrating the best of who they are. And in turn, that energy that creates helps other people to do the very same. Little did I know that, but it was all leading to this point. And my journey hasn't ended yet. So now that I've removed that anxious feeling of wanting to do various things, I now understand the process and I have a more relaxed approach about this sort of thing. But, that you could apply this approach to your love and romantic life, whatever facet of your life, and look how each facet of your life entwines and it serves a purpose there. You will have heard me mention that I am a single parent. I've got 2 girls. And with doing that, the gift that's given me is learning to be a loving father, obviously, to be patient, to be observant. It's helped me to be independent as well. And it's also helped me to love myself through the process, because without giving yourself that self-love, to get up every day and to be a loving parent, you wouldn't be able to do it. So my point being is all of these things help towards your destiny. So have that faith, have that patience, and it's all leading to your destiny. Now we're moving on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hello, in all the time I've been passed over to World at Spirit, I've never realised that I'd be doing this. I'd be coming forward and I'd be blending me energies through a young lad in another county in Nottinghamshire. I never would have guessed that, no. Anyway, my name's Tom. It's a pleasure to come through today, and I hope you don't mind us having a few words with you. And we want to talk about various things, but one of those things is just to let you know that you're all going through a healing process at the moment, and what we mean by this is you'll be finding yourself going throughout your daily business, and all of a sudden a memory will pop up from your past, and it'll pop up right prominent. In other words, it'll be there right in front of your mind, and it'll almost play out like a little film. And you'll be seeing what you experience, you'll be feeling the emotions attached to that experience. And the reason for this occurring, may we add, is simply because these are fractals of your soul. These are memories from your past that are coming up now, ready to be analysed in order for you to process them more accurately, to let them go, and to learn the lessons from that process. Once you've done that, you will find yourself activating new levels of being in your current reality. And what we mean by that is that you'll no longer have these energy blocks or these, shall we say, things in the road to stop your life flowing in the direction that it is meant to, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of you that are going to be experiencing this, and it's not just going to be one thing. There's going to be several things that will be coming up, and some of them will be quite emotional for you, things that you've maybe stuffed back down and forgotten about. Other things will be quite humorous or pleasurable in one way, shape, or form. Nevertheless, they are coming. It's part of your healing process, and it's part of you letting go of these old vibrations in order for you to connect to the truth of who you are. Now, the truth of who you are, as you know, is pure essence, is pure love, is you actually part of the universe. You are the universe, in fact. And when you all realise that, you'll realise that you're all connected, and you're connected to everything and everyone. So, with us saying this, when you want to manifest something into your new reality, it's just a mere choice in your mind. It's a thought, it's a vibration away, and you're a vibration away from connecting with it. So don't think that things are stopped from your experience. No, you've got to align with things, and when you align with things, then you can create your own reality. In actual fact, you are all creators, and the sooner that you all take that power back, the better, because you'll realize that you'll be able to design your life, or at least tune into your life plan that you agreed to do before you incarnated here a lot more clearly. And when you do that, that's when the magic, that's when all these things align. So you'll be able to bring things in a lot more quickly when you do that. In order to get you at that level, as we've already discussed in this transmission, the letting go of old belief systems and attachments is a necessary part of it. But you will be going through a phase that will be quite peculiar to you at this moment in time, as you're going to witness a lot of people around you going through a similar vibrational process. And in many instances, those that aren't, shall we say, awakened, aligned, will find it quite emotionally stunting. In other words, they will come to a halt, they will come to a pause, they will get stuck, in other words. And it will take somebody like your good selves that are listening to this to actually steer their ship, steer them in the right direction, say, it's all right, you're all right, nothing to worry about. What you need to do is actually you need to go through the process and let it go. Let it go, and you'll know that everything will be just perfect when you do that. So those of you that are listening, and people do appear upset around you, maybe consider that this is why they're going through those old parts of their life in their mind, and those emotions are rising up. So when you see people and they look like they're on another planet, but obviously they're in your now moment reality, this is often the case because they're lost in transition in their thoughts and their emotions. It's a wonderful gift to actually go through, if we're honest, because it allows you to, like we say, lighten the load energetically, emotionally, mentally as well, so that you can flow and connect with the truth of who you are on your soul mission. So that's what we're talking about today. We also want to say that there's going to be, if you haven't noticed already, there will be in your nervous system, in your nerves, there'll be electricity. As you know, it filters through, and sometimes you get that nervous shock where you'll have a twitch in, say, a limb, or, maybe a spasm in the bottom of your back. Not necessarily a pain, it just shocks you because you weren't expecting it, and it makes you jump. So there's going to be a lot of you that's going to be experiencing these little shocks. And again, this is connected to ascension symptoms in many respects. It's a new vibration, it's you connecting to new vibration, and also the magnetic frequencies around you are interacting with you on a deeper level. And so when you do connect to a higher frequency, in many cases, it can make you react in this manner where you do jump out your skin. Not out of fear, you must understand. It's like an electric shock, a quick shock, makes your nerves twitch, okay? So watch out for that. Nothing to concern yourself about with your health. It's merely one of, shall we say, one of the side effects of connecting to new vibrational frequency. What we would suggest in circumstances where it does become uncomfortable to you and it happens on a regular basis is the fact that you need to do a lot of grounding exercises. Now you hear a lot of people talking about you need to ground. Well, what is grounding? Well, we'll tell you, shall we? Grounding is where you connect to your now moment, your present consciousness, and you cement your, shall we say, your higher self into your body a little bit more. Because as you know, we all astral travel, we all experience different universes, different frequency levels as well. And sometimes we can feel a little bit dreamy, a little bit light and fluffy and airy and not quite with it. And this is because we're flitting between all these frequency dimensions. And our soul needs to be grounded in, shall we say, your physical reality, in your physical body, in order to have more of a sensory experience in your now moments. So you will need to ground your energies, because you'll find that you'll be multi-dimensional traveling and you'll be switching different frequency bands as a result of you going through these ascension symptom processes that we're describing to you in this transmission. Now, to ground your energies, most of you will be aware that nature plays a great role in that. So if you can get out and about in it, that will certainly do the job for you. It will make you feel so at peace and at ease with yourself. There's a healing process that goes both ways. So not only will you be benefiting by getting healed and grounded, but also the outdoors, the Mother Nature, wherever you roam, wherever you decide to go, will benefit from your energy, your higher frequency coming into that environment. So be aware that that's one way of grounding. Another way of grounding, if you're not able to go out and about, you don't have the time to do it, or maybe you don't have the means to do it, then what we say is just be aware of where you're at in your life, where you're at in the moment. So we'd encourage you to focus your attention on your senses, your sight, the sounds, the temperature in the room, your emotions, the sense of touch, sense of feeling, and all of those, and just think, really concentrate in your mind on what you're experiencing, what your body's feeding back to you. And when you do that, that brings the higher self strongly more into the physical body, allowing you to be more grounded, allowing you to be more present, and allowing you to experience more in your current reality, okay? So you'll find yourself needing to do that more on a regular basis. simply because you'll be feeling a lot more airy, a lot more dreamy, and a bit floaty in your reality, if that makes sense to you. Another thing we wanted to make you aware of, now you are all understanding that the frequencies have changed and they are continuing to change, and they're going in the direction of the vibration of love. And so what we mean by love is it is the, shall we say, the invisible frequency band that binds everything together. And it also interacts with what you will understand as a romantic connection as well. That feeling from the heart, that feeling of being connected to another soul, and wanting to share your moments with them. Well, the reason why we bring this up is there's going to be a lot of changes in people's relationships with one another, simply because that love vibration will take them to where they need to be. In some cases, it will be in the form where out of the relationship that they're currently in, that relationship will no longer hold that frequency and will have to be let go of. And it will be quite emotional, as you can imagine, for all parties involved. But all parties will actually, when they admit it to themselves, will realize that that vibrational love has moved out of that partnership, that relationship. So with this being the case, we urge you that are in relationships to follow your calling, follow your heart. Don't feel bad. As long as you're being respectful, there's no deviance, there's no disharmony, no cheating. You know, as long as none of that's taking part, you're going to be all right. Because obviously, when they're telling lies and things like that in order to have best of both worlds, then that's when karma comes knocking at your door. Shall we say, the great lesson is going to come knocking at your door on your soul path. However, what we're wanting you to know is that you're to trust your emotions and let that be the guide. And we want you to communicate clearly when you do feel these feelings, whether that's with your current partner or your prospective partner in the future. We want you to be open. We want you to share your innermost feelings and be honest. That way there'll be no comeback, so to speak. Everybody will be respectful. Yes, it'll be very harmful in many respects emotionally, but once those cords have been disconnected, you'll find that you'll be able to ascend a lot higher on your soul journey, and life will take on a new way of being for you, a new realization. You'll witness things that you didn't see, you didn't experience before in your other reality, in your other relationship. And this is not because the other parties involved in that relationship any lesser than you. No, we're not saying that. We're not alluding to that at all. We're merely saying to you that they're on a different pathway, on their energy frequency, and you that's listening to this will find that you're on a different vibration. And so when you're on two different channels, the dominant channel has to, shall we say, move into that higher band of frequency to connect to the truth of who they are. And so you see, that is mainly the reason why a lot of these relationships that most of you, not all of you, because some of you most of you are going to be all right. It's just the odd one or two will notice these changes in your romantic liaisons and relationships, and you start and follow that vibration of love, that vibration of truth, and you'll be glad that you did. It's because your life will flow a lot more openly and freely when you do that. There's another thing we wanted to chat with you about, and this is also in connection to what's going off in world. You know, in your world, this is in the earth plane. There's going to be a lot of confusion, as those of you that are listening will be more than aware of, because you're witnessing it now, aren't you? And there's a lot of misalignments with truths. There's a lot of misalignments with information. And those of you that are, shall we say, transcending into this higher frequency band, you will be able to spot these misalignments, these untruths very quickly, because you'll feel it. You'll feel the energy doesn't connect. You'll feel it. It will feel disjointed when you hear this information or when you're presented with this information, and it just won't flow, and you'll feel it. And so why we bring this up is we're saying to you, don't be fooled into thinking that a lot of this information you're being presented with is the gospel truth. Because when you trust your frequency and your emotions, you'll feel, like we say, that it's not at all. It's merely shall we say, a pantomime that's unfolding right under your nose in order to keep your vibrations at a, shall we say, redundant level. In other words, stopping you from ascending to higher frequency realms. This is why this information is put in, because if you imagine that when you heighten your vibration, your frequency band, you're going to see a lot of these and experience a lot of these untruths. And it's going to unpick, shall we say, the way that society has been constructed to be, to keep it living small, to keep it at a certain frequency rate. You'll unpick all of that. And it's almost like, we'll use a bit of an analogy for you so you can connect with the words that we're saying. It's almost like if anybody's watched that film called The Wizard of Oz, and there's all this, everybody's petrified, you've got to do this rule, you've got to do that rule, and this, that, and the other. Well, you can't do that, the Great Wizard of Oz will get you. You know the script. Anyway, it's very much like that, because all the power was, it was an old man behind a curtain pulling lots of levers, making all these things appear to be real. Well, that's what's happening in your reality without putting a finer point on it. And so you're going to connect with the truth of your own vibrations. You'll feel that misalignment in the, shall we say, energetic frequency around you when information is being exchanged to you. And you'll know when it's not right, because it won't feel right. It won't flow. It will have a stunted feeling to it. And that's how you know a truth from a lie. And no matter how big, no matter how small, it's all down to you feeling the flow of it. Does it flow? Does it not flow? And then you'll know. So we all this little bit of information that we brought forward for you today at least gives you something to think about, keep you busy, and also gives you a few pointers in how to cope with all this unfolding changes in your frequency as it unfolds on a day-to-day basis. You won't all, shall we say, ascend at the same time, but you're not that far from each other, if that makes sense. It's all down to personal choice. And the choices that you make in your present moment, as you'll be aware of, will shape your reality. So it is really important that you do ground, as we've mentioned earlier, and stay in your current reality, in your present moment, and bring yourself back there, because it's in that moment where you make those decisions, those choices, that's where your true essence is, your true power. And when you recognize that, that's when you can create worlds, you can create communities, and you can make your own rules, so to speak, as long as no harm comes to none, and you being that respectful being, you're showing that charitable, giving and receiving, balanced state of being, then everything will work out just beautifully.
Fantastic transmission there from the world of spirit. Now we're moving on to this week's energy forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 27th of February 2023. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I consult the wisdom of my spirit guides and helpers, and also consult the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So what I'm going to do now is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out at random for this week's energy forecast reading. And right on cue, one has just done that. So here's your card for this week's energy forecast reading, I'm now going to link into that and bring forward that energy for you. First of all, I'm feeling very empowered with you all this week, and I feel as though there's going to be a strong connection to your true self, your soul as well, that's going to be coming to the foreground this week, as I feel as though that you're going to be listening more. You're going to be listening to the truth of who you are, and you'll be following your instincts. There's also going to be a sense with you that you're going to be picking up biofeedback. So information and inspiration from your physical body. Now, what I'm talking about here is I feel as though your body is going to let you know that things are online, you're on purpose, and you're connecting with your truth. Now, there's an ailment that I'm picking up that most of you will be experiencing this week, and that is in the neck, tension around the neck, and also the bottom of the spine. Don't worry too much about this, because I don't feel as though it is a medical condition. I just feel as though it's old energies, trapped energies, vibrations from your past that are taking that opportunity to rise, surface, and be released in order for you to flow a little bit better within your life. There's also going to be people around you that are going to look at you in a different way. They're going to see these changes that you are going through. In other words, that you're going to have a new sense of confidence about yourself, but you're going to be humble with it as well. You're also going to feel more empowered, I want to say, as well. And that natural born leader who you've always meant to be will start to come to the surface. And other people will comment about how much they feel that you've changed and you've evolved in some small shape, way, or form. However, you are to keep connecting with that truth of who you are, regardless of what comments are made in your direction, as now it's time for you to rise and shine and to expand not only your consciousness, but consciousness of those people that do connect with you around you. Now, the way that you do this is by leading by example. And people will look and gravitate towards you once you do this. As at the moment, people are looking for answers. They're looking for help. They're looking for divine guidance. Whether they realize it or not, they're all in a state of confusion and a bit of a daze type state in the mind there. And that's not a criticism. That is just an observation coming in from my guides there. Now, with this being the case, the way that you can help them, like they say, is by being that shining light of example there. So make sure that your words are matching your energy, and your energy is matching your actions this week. You will have a tendency to feel lethargic around Wednesday of this week, where if that is the case with you, then it will be an indication from the universe that you need to slow down a little bit and embrace those beautiful transformations that are making their way through you at this moment in time. So let's turn over the card for you and see what we have on the card. At the top there, it says Queen of Gabriel. So I feel as though that's referring to the feminine energies, the sensitivity. It's also referring to the crown chakra at the top of your head. And it's telling you to take that power back, that authority back as well. And just to watch the inspirations that are coming in to you this week. Underneath that, it says passionate, charming, brilliant, and independent. Now, I feel all of these qualities are going to be qualities that you embody more so this week. And I feel as though these qualities, you've been keeping them hidden in behind the scenes, not letting people see those qualities because fear of being judged by them. This week will be a different case entirely, as you're going to be embracing those. At the bottom of the card, it reads, you can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. Now, with this being the case, I feel as though that you are part of that process. You are one of those helpful people. But with that being the case, with you owning who you are as a person, embodying the truth of that, then you will have the added bonus of attracting the things that you need in order for you to fulfill your life's journey, your life's path, and to help and inspire others. So watch out for your manifesting skills being amplified this week, but you will get the things that you need rather than things that are just going to be obstructions blocking you from achieving your life goal and your life's purpose there. So watch out for this week. let's take a look into the artwork of the card. We have like an orange around the colour around the edge of the card. I feel that represents the sacral chakra, which is just below your belly button, your navel. And this is the part of you that gives you that fire in your belly, that get up and go, that enthusiasm, that passion, that energy, that drive that you need to give you that momentum in order for you to move forward in the direction of the truth of who you are. This energy also will be very infectious. Now, when I use that term, I'm referring to that you will manifest people around you. They'll be naturally gravitating towards you because you have a different vibration about you. You have a bit of a glow about you, and this energy will be emanating from you, and they will want to be a part of that because it makes them feel good, it makes them feel empowered, and it allows them to connect with the truth of who they are. So when you notice this change in your energy, in your vibration, just allow yourself to go with it rather than suppressing it, because everybody will benefit once you start doing that. Looking into the artwork of this card, we've got this beautiful feminine energy there, and as you can see, she's sat in a throne there, and she's looking rather relaxed. She's looking like she knows what she wants, and I feel as though this represents the feminine side of you, the sensitive side of you. And you'll notice all these changes within yourself. Also, as we can see, she's sitting in the throne. So that would represent you sitting in the seat of your own power, taking that power back, taking those responsibilities back, having that natural leadership come to the surface more, and just allowing things to come to you rather than you going chasing after things and wasting time and energy doing that. When you can instead, you can sit, you can be in that muse-like state of mind where you get the inspiration, and that inspiration will help not only yourself, but it will predominantly guide and help others once you start doing that. Like we said earlier, everything that you need will come to you at the right place at the right time. All you have to do is simply relax, align with that vibration, and allow the inspiration to come to you. Also looking there, we have a cat on there. So I'd like you to research the animal totem of the cat, as I feel that will give you additional content and information. Also research the angel number of number 9, as I feel as though that's connected with the cat, because they say that a cat has 9 lives as well. So please look into that. Also in the artwork there's lots of ancient artwork around the edging of the card. There's an elephant on there, so I'd like you to research the animal totem of the elephant. There are also angel wings in the background there, and they're crossed with, it looks like trumpets of some kind. So watch out for having a connection with the angelic realm this week. And I feel as though this is where the inspiration's coming in. This is where you'll feel that sense of ease and grace and calmness throughout the course of your week this week. Know that you are guided, you are protected. Also, there's something about the elephant. I've just been drawn back again to that. And they say an elephant never forgets. But I feel with you, you need to forget elements of your past, because otherwise that will hold you down and it will stop you from vibrating at a higher vibration. So that's what I'm picking up for you for this week. I hope that resonates with you all. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on here and you would like a one-to-one private reading or a 12-month forecast reading with myself, you can go over to my website, which is www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Also, if you enjoy spiritual, paranormal, self-help radio shows, I have a show every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on pulsetalkradio.com, and the show's called From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. I'll look forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, have a blessed week. Take care. God bless. Bye for now. An interesting week for us all this week by the sounds of things. I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. If you do have any show suggestions, any ideas, or if you want to share any of your encounters or experiences, please feel free to contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com or glennboddice@live.co.uk. It'd be wonderful to have your interactions. In the meantime, I wish you a wonderful week ahead, and I'll look forward to seeing you same place, same time, next Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, pulsetalkradio.com. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium